Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Thanks for your support on Patreon, The Beast, Brock Taylor. A major WWE star returns with his massive dong. AJ Styles and Ricochet had a great TV main event, and we got an unprecedented 5 WWE title changes in one night. They were just all for the same belt. And what is the real reason behind Undertaker making his shock return to WWE? Click the timestamps in the video description below to go straight to any of those stories. I'm Oli Davis. Give us a subscribe, press the thumbs up button, and answer our question of the day in the comments. How do you think WWE will book The Undertaker's return from here? Because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. And click the eye above my head to give your rating of the show, where you can choose from Rawsome, Core, Average, Poor, and Rawful, as I review the 24th of June episode of Monday Night Raw. Becky Lynch's boyfriend and Universal Champion Seth Rollins opened the show with an in-ring promo to be quickly joined by Seth Rollins' girlfriend and Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Wait a second. Are they dating or something? Where Seth called Becky the best backup anyone can have. Dude, Roman Reigns is like on Raw all the time. He's your brother. Baron and Lacey Evans' mid-card of evil then jumped Seth and Becky from behind, and as we all feared, they booked a mixed tag team match for Extreme Rules with both titles on the line. At least if Corbin and Evans lose, they'll supposedly get no more chances, because that's a stipulation WWE never go back on. Next up was an 8-man tag with Daniel Bryan, Rowan, and The Revival against the Usos and New Day. And because WWE has gone pin crazy, it's an elimination match, because that'll fix the falling ratings. More pins! Pins everywhere! Brian Alvarez has reported this sudden production change is actually because Vince McMahon doesn't want matches to continue through ad breaks anymore, as other sports don't do that, and the pins provide breaks for them to throw to commercial. I agree that ad placement in WWE TV matches has been frustrating for a while now, but this is like treating a headache with trepanine, the ancient practice of drilling a hole into someone's head to fix it. Having so many eliminations and 2 out of 3 full stipulations means you have to book even more wrestlers to lose. Like Daniel Bryan, who, just like the night before at Stomping Grounds, was awesomely over in his home state of Washington. So, naturally, he got eliminated first when you could have just pinned Rowan. And Woods followed shortly after. The Usos won overall with a very cool finish, countering suplexes into splashes. Next up saw R-Truth and Carmella on Miz TV after Truth regained his 24/7 championship. Drake Maverick came down to reveal his wife wants a divorce, so he wants to win back the love of his life, the 24/7 title. This turned into a very short match between the two, with Truth winning in seconds, and the undercard chasing him through the crowd afterwards. Mean Charlie Caruso asked Maverick why he was so stupid and dumb, but he just walked off in tears. In a rare match without a pin, because these are actually top guys WWE cares about, Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre just beat up Roman Reigns in their 2-on-1 match, with steel stair spots, multiple claymores, and Shane hitting Roman's spear. But just as McMahon was about to hit the coast to coast, the lights cut out and the heels got hit with Undertaker's massive dong. The dead man caught Shane's dive with a chokeslam, cleared house to save Reigns, the man who retired him, kind of. And then later in the show, Taker and Roman versus Shane and Drew was booked for Extreme Rules. I'm sure this was planned for ages and was in no way a rushed panic move to increase TV ratings. It's just another example of WWE looking to the past for solutions rather than building for the future. Speaking of ideas from the past, hot off their arm wrestling contest a few weeks ago, Braun Strowman beat Bobby Lashley in a tug of war. Next up, Pose Off. It went about a minute before breaking down into a brawl between them, where Bobby blinded Braun with the rope and stood tall. Strowman is floundering yet again and deserves a proper feud rather than another program with Lashley, which I thought finished weeks ago. Backstage, Mean Charlie Caruso asked AJ Styles about being medically cleared and then cut him off mid-answer to say how she doesn't want to hear about that, you stupid dumb person. Just talk about the upcoming match with Ricochet. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson interrupted by partying with No Way Ospreay Jose's sex conga, leading AJ to berate them for not taking themselves seriously again. This led to Anderson to prove themselves against the Viking "don't mention the war" experience Raiders, which, just like last week's quick loss against the Usos, they started strong but lost when they got cocky. Oh my god! Mojo Rawley is finally getting an actual match on TV for his new Taserface gimmick. Oh no, it's just another 24/7 title schmoz, where Heath Slater won the belt for R-Truth to win it back, which Cedric Alexander then captured, for EC3 to win his first title on the main roster, for R-Truth to regain it to become a 9-time champ. Next up, Kofi Kingston sold his grueling steel cage match against Dolph Ziggler from the previous night by dancing down to the ring throwing out pancakes. Just before Mean Charlie Caruso could be nasty to him though, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn interrupted for an impromptu Sami and KO show, which turned into a really good Kofi vs Sami match that Kingston ultimately won with a roll-up. KO then challenged Kofi to another match right now to show what a great champion he is, which Kingston accepted and then won via countout, after an exciting few minutes with a nasty-looking SOS on the steel ramp. WWE have done a terrific job of booking Kingston strong, but they have treated Owens and Zayn absolutely abysmally. Then while Kingston celebrated, Samoa Joe attacked him from behind on the ramp, choking him out to presumably start Kofi's next title feud, which is really cool because we all love Samoa Joe, but it falls apart when you think about it. Samoa Joe is a Raw star. Samoa Joe has lost practically everything in 2019. Samoa Joe just lost the United States title on Sunday. If you were building someone up to feud for one of your top belts, why would you have them lose clean the previous night? Ultimately, it devalues the WWE Championship and Kofi's reign, as while WWE is booking him strong, they're doing so against Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Samoa Joe, i.e. wrestlers they don't portray as credible threats. Because most of the women's division feuds can only be based around who's friends with who, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross continued their terrible storyline. Natalya and Naomi tried to warn Cross that Alexa is just using her, which led to Bliss beating Naomi in a few minutes, and then Natalya in the ensuing tag match. The main event, however, was a dream match encounter between AJ Styles and Ricochet. One man back from injury, the other fresh off his first title win on the main roster, and putting the US title in the main event slot and having AJ endorse Ricochet in the post-match really helped put over both the championship and its holder as a future top star. A sentiment rather undone by having Ricochet lose the day after he won the US title. The matchup really should have been saved for a pay-per-view to give both guys wins going in. Elsewhere, AJ sent Gallows and Anderson to the back when they tried to interfere because AJ don't want none of their cheating heel tactics. This was an enjoyable episode, but only on a superficial level, with practically every segment lacking substance or wrestling logic, and the final number of 16 finishes for 9 matches is ridiculous. Also, where was Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse this week? This week's Raw is a lower Rauge. And now over to Pete with the news.
Gong.
Oh my god, why have the lights gone out? What's happening? Oh, it's Luke! Hey, Luke's back from holiday!
How's it going? You're bad, yeah.
So it was your dong that I could feel. I mean here.
Here, yeah. Yeah.
Good to have you back, bud.
Thanks, man.
Have a good news.
Thanks, man.
See you at the Wrestle Ramble.
Yes, folks, I'm back once again like a renegade master with all that ill behavior. Despite all the bad news surrounding the show, with poor ticket sales meaning WWE taped off a huge portion of the building to hide the disappointing attendance, the feedback to WWE Stomping Grounds 2019 was actually pretty good. One person who really liked the show was Universal Champion Seth Rollins, who tweeted to say that WWE had the best wrestling on the planet, period. Monty Brown to AEW confirmed. He then doubled down on this tweet with a follow-up saying, "Find anyone else alive who does what I do as well as I do it as often as I do it." You can't. Later replying to Cage Side Seats making fun of Rollins by saying, "Sure do, dogs," and after that pay-per-view, I stand by it even more. The crew brought it tonight. From top to bottom, all-out effort from every person in the ring and out. Adding to a fan who told him to dial it down, "Nah, dog, let me dial it up." I've sat back and watched idiots with no clue talk poorly about the place I dedicate my life to every hour of every day. The level I perform at on constant is untouchable. Time to let him know. Can't imagine what idiots with no clue he's talking about. But it wasn't just Cage Side Seats who made fun of Rollins, with Tama Tonga calling New Japan the best wrestling in the galaxy, and All Elite Wrestling's Chris Jericho responding with a devastating laughing emoji.
It's a human insult. It's devastating. You're devastated right now.
One person who really got involved with this conversation is junior heavyweight champion Will Ospreay, who replied to Rollins' tweet with "I'm alive." For the record, Will Ospreay has a 2019 average match star rating of 4.5 stars, which includes a 5 3/4 star match against Shingo Tataki on day 15 of the Best of the Super Juniors. Now, Rollins didn't respond to Jericho or Tama Tonga, but did reply to Ospreay by saying, I'm sorry, little guy. We already have a better version of you here, and he just won his first US title tonight. Congrats, Ricochet. Keep working hard though, buddy." Ospreay responded with a gif of David Brent saying, "Ooh, your odds," and later added that he's wrestled more matches in 2019 than Seth Rollins. The Beast Slayer then took a trip to the Kevin Nash school of thought by replying, "I mean, if you want to talk numbers, we can compare bank accounts too." Rather than get into a debate about bank accounts, however, Ospreay went back to the original point. The original question was, find anyone else alive who does what I do as well as I do it as often as I do it. No talk of money, no talk of Ricochet, you said anyone, here I am. In an interview with ESPN, Ospreay added, "I love Rollins. Rollins is the absolute Don. He's the man, you know what I mean? He's one of the best wrestlers ever, period." But you asked the question. You asked, find me someone alive. As far as I'm concerned, I'm breathing. There's oxygen in my lungs. I think the last time I heard about an amazing Seth Rollins match was his one against AJ Styles. And if you can't get a good match out of AJ Styles, then I think you should leave the planet. Ospreay wanted to make sure that this is not an us versus them argument as many fans thought it was, by posting a picture of him posing with his girlfriend and World of Stardom champion Bea Priestley and NXT UK Women's Champion Toni Storm, adding 3 different champions, 3 different companies, 3 different contracts, all busted our butts on the indies. Just be happy for one another and have a drink. But not even Will Ospreay can avoid the pull of Baron Corbin's Twitter mid-card vortex, with the Lone Wolf tweeting, "More important fact, Baron Corbin has wrestled more matches in 2019 than Will Ospreay." To which Ospreay responded, "No wonder Raw sucks."
Tweetality.
Corbin announced last night on Raw that he would team with Lacey Evans to take on Rollins and Becky Lynch in a winner-takes-all mixed tag team match. But that wasn't the only match announced for Extreme Rules, with The Undertaker making a surprise appearance to help Roman Reigns against Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon, with WWE announcing the 4 of them will clash in a tag team match. But why on earth would WWE dig up The Undertaker once again? Especially after that disastrous match he had with Goldberg at Super Show. Oh yeah, the ratings are bad and ticket sales are poor, yeah. Yes, it should come as no surprise, but Cage Side Seats are reporting that WWE have brought Taker back to help with falling ratings and boost ticket sales in the lead up to Extreme Rules. Dave Meltzer has since backed this up on Wrestling Observer Radio, calling it a desperate move. Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to our pledge hammers on Patreon, some of which you can see scrolling their way into my stomach. BioWare's CEO has totally slammed BioWare's Anthem video game for being a big pile of rubbish. Click the Screenstalker video over there to find out more about that. I've been Luke Owen, and that were wrestling.